Hi, it's Jo and today I'm going to be watching The Clone Wars Season 4 Episode 22, Revenge, which does not bode well for Obi-Wan. I am so excited to see where this goes. In between filming the last episode and this episode, I had a quick Google of Darth Maul. I was very careful to only read a vague synopsis of him from the movie, and yeah, that made sense with what I thought I remembered, and yeah, I'm sorry that it took my brain a bit to get there, but I'm with it, ready for this episode. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon. You get that 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. And with this episode, I'm around 2/3 of the way through the Clone Wars, which is crazy. I mean, I know after that I have Rebels, and then I have the Bad Batch, so there's a lot that I'm still going to watch continuing from this, but it is crazy that I'm getting through this. I mean, it's taken me most of the year, so it's going to take me a whole year at least, but yeah, I'm excited. Let's go.
Above what once was greatest, rendered small.
Why is he insane? Is it just from spending 10 years or so on that planet? How did he get his spider legs? But at the end of the episode, the massacre episode, it seemed as though Mother Talcin came to Ventress as like a ghost. But then she seemed very alive and oh yep. Yeah, things did not go well here for your people. I mean, your male species people are probably doing a great job where they live. Unless the droids moved on. I love that, like, he hates Ventress, but Talcin works both sides.
Sent his minions to destroy.
She seems okay about this.
We will survive.
Okay.
But he does remember something.
Something.
I suppose the revenge, his desire for revenge, was the thing that he clutched onto for the longest time before he lost his sanity completely.
No, what?
Now.
He does not sound like he's having good dreams. She is literally pulling the darkness out, like all the pain and the insanity. Oh wow. Is it attaching to its nervous system so he can control it? It's handy there are lots of droid parts around, isn't it? Ah. Holy shit.
Reborn son of Dathomir.
He's back.
Brother.
It's not quite the reunion he was after. You're going to be causing havoc in no time. You know, you owe a bit of thanks to your brother, actually. Well, I'm so glad he's back.
The Clone Wars.
Oh, yes. So it began without me.
You can be.
Savage, she's like, be my brother, please be my brother.
Being in the galaxy, but I was robbed of their destiny by the Jedi.
You literally killed one of them as well.
Then you must.
You robbed his master of the chance to do great as well.
We shall start with revenge.
I love revenge plots like this because it's like, I hurt you, then you hurt me, but my pain is the only pain that's justified.
Slaughter.
No.
The innocent, mercilessly and without compromise.
Oh god.
Unless you come here, face me.
He's behind you.
And if you do not,
I've dealt with him before. I can do it again.
Well, you could send at least a couple of Jedi with you.
This is clearly a trap.
Uh-huh.
Against my better, not alone, will Kenobi be
Anakin?
an unexpected ally he may have.
Ooh. Who?
Trust the Force.
Who would be Oh, is it unexpected? Is Ventress gonna come and try and put a stop to him too because she was part of his creation and he's a threat to her? Opress, at least. Okay.
Million credits.
I've got this one.
She has made quite the name for herself already. Obi-Wan, just hi, it's me. Please don't kill me instantly, and then please let all the people go. We're just gonna. Oh. We're just gonna be lucky that this sort of villain likes to make someone suffer rather than just straight out kill him the second he sees him.
You may have forgotten me,
But I will never forget you.
Okay, cool, but like,
Cannot imagine
you do realise that says more against you than him.
to stay alive, fueled by my singular hatred.
Well then really, you ought to thank him because your hatred for him kept you alive.
Certain.
Okay, but if there's two of you, that's cheating. You're not more powerful than him if you need your brother to do the fighting for you. See what I mean? Like, the fact that they want him to suffer is... They could have killed him quickly already. That is gonna work in our favour. Because if they just wanted him dead, bam, killed him, lol, got my revenge, it would all be over for him. Okay, here comes Obi-Wan's hope. Never thought I would say that, talking about her.
Still as weak as ever.
He literally cut you in half. If he's weak, what does that make you?
Master.
Is she gonna make it crash, or is she content to leave the other ship behind?
I like your new legs. They make you look taller.
They do!
Be beyond excruciating. You will suffer.
Well, you mean, you know, he means a lot more to you than you mean to him.
Some wretched cast-offs from the night.
I love that she's stepping into, actually kind of defending Obi-Wan. Does she know she might need his help?
The death destroy her.
Well, she's given Obi-Wan a reprieve.
Don't tell me someone's finally knocked the fight out of you. Wake up.
When did you become the good guy?
Don't insult me.
Are they really going to work together?
Decide to wake up to.
Oof. She really is different
That's
now.
fine.
Like you even had to ask.
Oh my god. These two working together is insane. They actually work quite well as a fight duo. Who'd have thought all those years of fighting each other, they know how they work. He's probably helping her as well. I guess she did the same for him, though they both know they need the other one to survive this. I have the high ground.
I gutted him while you stood helpless and
Yeah,
watched.
and I cut you in half.
Make you feel.
How did it feel when I cut you in half? It clearly, you know, irked you a little bit, didn't it? Obi-Wan. See, again, we're lucky he kicked him rather than stabbing him.
You want to run?
I learned from watching you.
So true. That's all she ever did was run. They are quite the duo. Oh, good, good, good. I'm glad they knew it had a detachable cockpit. They would just go to another planet full of innocent people, surely, to do the same thing.
You do know it's not over.
Uh.
They'll be after us both now.
Mm-hmm.
What now, brother? Do we go after them?
Always a follower, never the one with brains.
Be patient.
They will be coming for us.
Let them come.
I am counting on.
That was more sinister. Okay, so this episode featured yet another unlikely duo with Ventress and Obi-Wan. And, you know, at the end of this, is Obi-Wan just going to be like, well, you know, thanks for the help, Ventress. Have a nice life. And let her go? Given that she worked for the Separatists and Count Dooku, probably has a lot of intel we could use. Has committed a lot of crimes she ought to be, you know, tried for. But then they work together and save each other's lives. And I know she's different now. She's like her own boss, kind of. We've seen her do good, but also look out for herself. But yeah, I'm intrigued about what the next steps there would be, because he would have to try to arrest her, surely, because, like I said, she's got too much information and she's committed too many crimes. The line about run away, well, I learned from watching you, that's so accurate, because all they do is run. Yeah, so that was insane, and the idea of using, threatening, hurting, killing innocent people to draw out a good guy is so compelling. It's just, when I say compelling, I just mean it just gets to you because you know it's going to work. It's often the thing, I think, whenever someone, like, in a TV show, if someone, like, threatens someone's kid in order to get them to come, or threatens their loved one or their friend, you know, appealing to someone's good nature, it just solidifies the good guy and the bad guy, and it just gets to me every time. It makes me so angry, and also just makes me just root for the good guy all the more. I'm not expecting this feeling very well at all, I'm sorry. But for Obi-Wan, you know, he went in there alone, risking everything. And at the end of the day, he probably could have gone in there with an entire squadron, because there were no innocent people around that we could see, unless hopefully they weren't already all dead. I feel like an entire squadron of clone troopers coming down there wouldn't have been the worst idea. Especially not, like, it wasn't exactly like they were in the position to monitor who landed or who came off the ship. So, like, Obi-Wan could have gone first, and then the others could have followed and swarmed them when they tried to take him back to the ship. But like always, we're glad that they wanted to make him suffer. We're glad it's good that they wanted to, you know, gloat and draw it out and monologue, because if they were just like, this is my revenge, we would no longer have an Obi-Wan, and that would be sad. With Ventress, I think, again, this is kind of another episode where you really do see that she is letting herself be more true to herself, I guess, in some ways, or more true to the person she could have been. It's never going to totally expunge all of her mistakes, all of her crimes. I'm never going to like her. But I think with this, part of why she took that bounty, it wasn't just because it was a good bounty, it was because that's a mistake from her past, that's an enemy from her past, that's someone that she needs to deal with, otherwise it's going to bite her later on. But the fact that it's so interesting because she stepped in and she helped Obi-Wan, and similarly during the like, she gave him one of her lightsabers, and during the fight he gave it back when she needed it. They were really looking out for each other, which shows you a lot of growth on her part. I mean, he's not going to want to watch anyone just die. Like I said, she needs to be tried. But I think it does show you how much she's grown, because she could have tried to, while they were distracted with like torturing Obi-Wan, she could have tried to sneak up behind them. Like, she could have tried to use that to her advantage while getting rid of a Jedi that she hated, but she didn't. And yes, part of that is that they both kind of knew they would need the other one to successfully fight off these two guys, and even then they were too powerful. But it does show a difference in Ventress, that she would deign to work with the Jedi. It doesn't excuse everything she's done, but it does show a difference. Now, Mother Taliesin, is she alive or is she dead? Because she can move, like, the misty stuff, and that's what I thought, because they shot at her and then she, like, went backwards into the green mist. So I initially thought she'd, like, escaped. But then when she had that final conversation with Ventress, I was like, oh, she's dead. That's sad. And now in this episode I'm like, okay, so she escaped, and there must be some other women somewhere. I suppose the clones, kind of, once they defeated the ones that fought back, the droids, it didn't seem as though they stuck around, so maybe there were more villages elsewhere, or more civilian children somewhere that are going to grow up to be able to be women and have babies down the line and whatnot. And that's kind of who she's looking after, along with the men. So there is some hope for Ventress, but I suppose perhaps she wanted Ventress to go off and do the path she's doing alone, not with them, even though at the beginning of the episode she was like, oh, Ventress, you're home now, you're one of us, and now she's like, just go. Mother Taliesin is a weird one as well, because Ventress and Ophrys are now at such odds, but she's kind of supporting them both in a lot of ways. So yeah, the fight scenes were intense. I did find, like, I think Darth Maul did a lot of self-owning with the whole, like, you might not remember me, but I'll never forget you. Okay, cool. That's because you're not memorable and he is. And, you know, all the stuff like, you know, I need revenge. I killed your master. You left me for dead. Well, then, to be honest, we're vaguely even, aren't we? I know it's like his suffering in his mind counts more than that. I am stressed about when we're going to meet them again, because they are both epically powerful, with a desire for vengeance and no real compassion or empathy for anybody else. I am intrigued about how much brotherly sentiment there is between the two of them. I feel like Savage has a little bit more than Maul, but I don't know what, like, could they ever be at odds? Could they be used against each other somehow? I don't know. But yeah, that was the end of season 4 of the Clone Wars. There are 3 seasons left, and then I mean, the Clone Wars have been going on for some time at this point. I don't feel like we have overly that long left until everything gets awful. We've already started seeing the seeds being planted. I am stressed. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. Thank you so much for watching and going on this Clone War journey with me.